Bro Grade Media.
You're now listening to The Straight Shooter Show with your host, The Straight Shooter.
All right. Hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. I did. Enjoyed it, relaxed, spent some good time with family. I'm going to talk about OnlyFans on the monologue this morning. Several months ago, this guy asked me, or maybe it was a girl, asked me what my view was on OnlyFans. I think it was a guy. And so I did a video on the whole deal, and I'm just going to basically tell you what I told them in the video. Was a friend of mine on TikTok that I follow, real attractive young woman, and she had reached out to me a few months prior to me getting the question and asked me what I thought about her doing an OnlyFans. She had been approached to do it. Several people had asked her if she would start one, and she wanted to know what I thought. And I said, look, here's the deal. I mean, you're a beautiful young lady. I know you can make a lot of money doing that, and I don't judge you. If that's what you want to do, you should do that. I just want you to consider a few things. That she has 2 young children, and I said, if you feel okay with telling them how you made your money now or when they get older, okay, do it. But if you think that's going to be an issue for you, I would say don't do it, because you don't want your kids to know that that's how you made your money. And I told her a story about when I was younger. My first wife and I, we were about to open a strip club, and we just thought that was an opportunity for us to make, good money or a lot of money. And before we got to the point of opening the club, I looked at her 3-year-old daughter and we discussed it and said, do we really want to raise her in that environment? And the answer was no. We did not want her to be in that environment growing up. So ultimately, we did not open the strip club. At any rate, so my view, along with a lot of people probably, has always been the OnlyFans was strictly kind of almost like a porn site, that has naked girls and doing sexual acts and stuff, and get all these perverts paying $30 a month or whatever to watch them. And here recently, a guy that I follow on TikTok, I had gone to his profile and noticed he had an OnlyFans, and I was like, what in the world? There's no way. What's he doing with a OnlyFans? So I started reaching out to a handful of people I know that have them, and I guess there's a whole lot more to OnlyFans than, what meets the eye. It's not just for naked women. I guess, I kind of got on there and looked around a little bit to see what else has to offer. I started following this guy that does skateboard tricks. People are really into skateboard tricks. They want to see his skateboard tricks. Then, I guess they're going to pay to see his tricks. So here's what I'm leading up to is, ever since I've been on TikTok, just about, people have always asked me to tell stories about, my wilder days when I was younger. And it's just not stuff I want to tell on any social platform, because you never know who's listening. I mean, if you got 9 or 10-year-old kids listening to whatever we say, I don't want to tell stories that they may misconstrue that I am, glorifying those stories. And, I've got thousands of stories that I could tell, but I just choose not to do that. But I started thinking, I spend hours in my DMs every day just about trying to help people, counsel people, help them through their issues, whatever problems they're having. And, doing this podcast right here, which I thoroughly enjoy doing. But none of the stuff that I do other than my, 50-hour weekday job pays the bills. So I thought, maybe I should start my own OnlyFans. I mean, I would know that people listening to my stories are adults because they're going to get a subscription for like $10 or whatever it is a month. And then they could have a more in-depth look into who Jason is, where he came from, what made me who I am, why I have the insight to various situations that I have. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll consider doing that. But then I thought this morning, you know what, I'm going to put it out to my podcast listeners. I feel like people that are listening to my podcast are my true fans, the people that, are loyal, that follow what I do, whether it's on TikTok or Instagram or here on the podcast. So I wanted to ask you guys what your opinion is. If that's something that y'all think would be beneficial, are y'all interested in that? Is that something that you think you would want to take part in? And just if you would, leave a comment wherever you're listening, or on YouTube, whatever, or wherever. Leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are, and maybe I'll make some decisions in the next 3 or 4 weeks based on what kind of feedback I get.
Can I make a request?
I don't know.
Only if you do it with your shirt off. I mean, can we get partial nudity?
No.
No?
No, nobody wants to see this.
What about what about with your shoes off then?
I probably could do some with my shoes off.
Okay. I guess your feetsies will be enough nudity.
I'm not going to show my feet, but I'll do it with my feet off. My shoes
that's messed
off.
up.
That's
messed up.
Nobody wants to see my feet either.
I'll subscribe to it, but I'd rather just see your feet or something like that.
You're a weirdo. God.
I know. I was sitting here thinking about that, what you were saying, and I was like, I don't have a problem with OnlyFans, but the reason, I'm big on leading by example for my kids, and if I did OnlyFans, and I did it negatively, and I would have to explain to them where my money came from someday,
right?
Then I'd have to tell them because I'm honest with my kids, or even if they ask me what I was doing in the moment, I'm always honest with my kids. So, man, and then if they did it, there's nothing you could say, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing you could say.
And that's the deal. I mean, if I tell my stories, my son already knows my stories. He knows I've told my son. I just don't want to tell your kids my stories, Yeah. That's your kids.
You're not going to be doing negative, like naked masturbation, stuff that these females are doing on there. No.
Which there's women, on there too that are not,
No, there is.
Not doing stuff like that.
I've met a couple that are doing non-nudity content on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe some people do story time in their bras or something, but that's all they'll do,
And look, I've never judged anybody. If that's what they choose to do, that's look, as long as they can live with what they I'm a big advocate for if you can lay your head down at night and rest easy with whatever you did that day, do it.
Yeah. It would be hard for me to say no. Like I said earlier, if I was a really cute female and I knew another cute female that was making $80,000 a month doing it, and then she was going to show me how to do it, and then you make that first month of $80,000, and then that would be hard to get out of once you get in it. And I think I'm dumb enough to make that rash decision to do it, and then that first month money comes in, and then you're in a trap and you can't get out of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm 10 or 12, 14 years older than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might feel differently when you get to be my age.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. I'm 30. How old? 35.
Yeah.
So I'm still pretty
12 years younger than me.
I'm still pretty dumb.
Yeah. I was real dumb at 35 still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it'd be hard for me to say no to, but yeah.
A 60-year-old might tell me that I'm dumb now.
Yeah. 20 years is such a long time. 10 years is I look at 25-year-old me and I almost gag. I'm like, oh my God, I was arrogant. I was prideful,
Me too.
So.
And when I see some, not all, but when I see some 25-year-olds now, I'm like, yeah, they think they know. They have no idea.
Yeah, no.
They think they know what they're doing or what's going on, but
no,
they got a lot to learn.
True. Okay, so let's move on to the questions. We've got a couple questions today. Okay, first question. I'm going to keep this one anonymous. So this guy, I'm just going to summarize this one. This guy, he went to Mexico. He has family in Mexico. He went to Mexico, and he met this girl while he was there, and he had a little fling with her, basically, and had this couple week long fling, and then he drove back to America, And then she was messaging him and trying to maintain the relationship while he was in America, and he kind of let it fizzle out. Well, he ended up going back to Mexico and saw her again and was interested in a relationship. They ended up kissing. Well, then he goes back to America again and promised her he was going to do a better job of maintaining a relationship with her while he was in America. Well, this time she ended up fizzling out and not responding to his messages and stuff. And it's been a while since they talked. Well, now she's heart reacting to his photos that he posts and stuff like that. And he kind of just wants to know what he should do because he really likes her.
Well, when somebody doesn't talk to you for a while, but then they start heart reacting or making comments on your social media posts, that means they had something else going on for a minute, and they kind of wanted to be out of sight, out of mind with you. But whatever they had going, it fizzled out, and now they want to get your attention again, but they know that they ghosted you. And so they're trying to ease back in by just saying, hey, look at me. Here I am. Here's a heart for you. Don't forget me. So, I mean, the fact that you're living in wherever you are in America and she's in Mexico, I mean, I wouldn't try to maintain a committed relationship like that. I mean, I would flirt with her if you want to. Let her flirt with you. I would not trust that she is going to just, keep herself for you and stay faithful, to you while you're here. I wouldn't live that lifestyle either. I mean, I would keep my options open. And I'd probably even have the conversation that, look, we can flirt all you want. And when I'm down there, if we're both available, we can spend time together. But, this can't be a committed relationship, with us living so far apart. I mean, that's just how I would handle it. I would probably just have a conversation with her. That's how it is.
Move her up here and get her papers. Marry her and give her papers.
Yeah, if that's where you're at with her. I mean, if you feel that strongly about her, I wouldn't.
You're not supposed to take my advice.
I wouldn't move her up here and get her papers unless you felt like, God, dang, she's the one. But yeah. I mean, how could you after only a few weeks here and there and a little flirting online? I mean,
there is a reason why Jason's in that chair giving the advice, and I'm over here running the equipment because I'm not. Hey, marry her, get her down here.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know. It sounds like he likes her and he wants to be with her, but she's in a different country. That's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would do. I don't know what you would do there if you liked her. I mean, you would have to live closer,
Well, I mean, I think that's why I would say if you want to continue flirting. Maybe it could develop into something over time, Maybe the both of them decide, you know what? I'm not really finding anything else that I'm having a connection with like I do with this person. So keep that flirting going, at least while you're both single. And if you just have to be honest. If you hook up with somebody, not talking to you now, I'm seeing somebody, and same with her. And even that jealousy from each one of them might be enough to, when she frees up again, you may want to lock it down or vice versa.
Yeah.
So
usually when someone's liking someone's pictures but not reaching out is because they want to talk to you, but they're too prideful to just message you. They want you to message them because their pride stopping them from messaging you all the way.
Yeah, I got a couple of women that, and they'll probably hear this, but they will like my videos and then they'll unlike them and like them again a couple of hours later.
No kidding.
To make sure
that you see
see that they are liking my videos.
Yeah. Well, now they know that they do that.
I see that you're doing that.
Ew. Dirty. Women are dirty. Do you ever do stuff like that?
I've never done anything like that. It took me a while to figure out. I'd be like, well, hell, she liked that like 2 hours ago. Why is it showing she just now liked it?
Yeah. That's got to be a woman thing, huh?
It must be.
It's got to be. Okay. All right. On to the next question. This one's going to remain anonymous too. I'm just going to read this whole thing. It's not crazy long. So he said, "Hey buddy, I need some advice from you on something that has been going on in my life. I've been dating this girl for over 6 months. She makes me so happy. In fact, happier than anyone I've ever been with she comes from a family that is nothing but trouble and kind of trash, to be honest. I hate to say it, but I don't know how else to say it. She has done nothing wrong to hurt me in any way since we've been together. Well, my mother doesn't like her at all. She has called my girlfriend trash, just like her family, a whore, a slut, talked crap about her family, and said she was just like her mother, a trashy whore. And I promise you, I've never been around her family enough to tell you, yes, she is just like her family, like how they act towards each other and stuff, but she doesn't do the things they do. She has never been in trouble. She just isn't like her family in a lot of ways. I don't know really how to explain it. But anyway, my girlfriend doesn't want to come back around my house because of my mother. Okay, I get the gist of it. Also, when you email us, use punctuation, please. Hard for me to read without punctuation. But anyway, so this guy's dating a girl, and the girl comes from a trashy family, and the boy's mom doesn't like his girlfriend, and now his girlfriend doesn't want to come around his mom anymore. What should he do?
Well, I mean, it's understandable that she doesn't want to go around mom if mom feels that way about her. I'm not saying that mom is right or wrong. I mean, I don't know the whole situation. I know what you sent us, but when my mom, when I was growing up, if she didn't like a girl for whatever reasons, she made it clear she didn't like them. And she would do what she needed to do to step in the middle of that, because when it comes to, let's say you marry the family of the person you marry, and if your mom feels like it would be unhealthy for you to marry into that family, that may be her motivation for wanting to break you out of that, even if you are in love with the girl. But mom can see this is not going to be good for you in the long run. I can see her motivation. But as far as what to do, dude, if you're a minor, I mean, your mom has the control over what you can and can't do for the most part. I wouldn't try to get girlfriend to come over to see mom because mom's probably not going to have it. You can try to talk to your mom more about, mom, here's what I see. This is what she does for me and the relationship that we have. And she's not anything like, her family or the things that you're saying. And maybe ask your mom for some concrete, tell me how is she like those people, if those people are that way. I mean, I don't know how our family is. Maybe I'll tell you this. There's been, whenever I was a kid, my mom, she stepped in if I was like being a player, and she would answer the phone and tell the girl on the phone that I was outside talking to my girlfriend to break us up. My mom and dad tracked me down when I was 14 years old at a 19-year-old's apartment, and they come in that apartment, and my mom was like, "You stay away from my son, you whore." She would do anything to protect her baby.
No matter what the girl was like, even if she was great?
Well, I was 14 and this girl was 19. So,
oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you had a TikTok video where your son was going to get into a relationship with an older female, and then you said no because of what you had been through, right?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, because this kid didn't put his age or anything, but if he's living in his mom's house, then he's going to have to respect her rules, because parents usually know best, right? I mean, not always. Not
always, but usually. I mean, I don't know his mom.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of mom she really is,
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard to say what to do in this situation without way more details, but I mean, when you're young, you don't know who you're dating either. When you're so young, I don't know. Your mom's always going to be there, and this girl is most likely not going to be there always, most likely.
But one thing's for sure that I want you to take away from this is whoever you marry, you're marrying their family too.
Yep.
So if their family is toxic and they're not prepared to let go of their toxic family, then you are marrying into toxicity. So that's a fact. I mean, You are marrying your spouse's family, period.
I like what you said the best about having him have a conversation with his mom about it again, like but don't go into it angry, because I know when your mom says, no, you can't hang out with that girl, your initial reaction is to get angry and mad and then fight with her, and then your mom's never going to listen to you if you act like that.
Right.
Try to go cool off somewhere and then approach her like, I mean, I don't know how to say this, but as an adult, like
as softly as possible.
Softly.
Can we just talk, Mom? Because I just really want to talk.
I just want to talk to you about whatever her name is, and I just want to tell you this is why I like her. This is the things that I like about her, and this is why I want to be with her. And if you can put legitimate reasons why and then explain to her, she may be more receptive, unless you like her for the wrong reasons.
Or maybe Mom can give you some legitimate reasons why she doesn't like her or why you shouldn't be with her, and it'll give you something to think about.
Yeah. Because guys, when we're younger, we think with something that we shouldn't be thinking with. So you've got to think about that and try to listen to your mother, because usually older people know best, because as the straight shooter says, we've did it.
One of the first things I always ask my son whenever he was interested in a new girl is, does she make good grades? Are her parents still married? Is she planning to go to college? Those were like the top 3 questions I would ask.
Yeah.
Not that a person from it just was important to me to know, is this kid dealing with mom and dad together? I wanted to know that.
Yeah.
And are they making good grades? Are they going to college? What are their plans? I need to know, because if he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you need to find out, get some answers, because if she's making D's, I don't want you talking to her. She has no motivation.
Yeah.
Or something. There's something going on.
Something, yeah.
So she needs to be equal to you when it comes to education, at least.
Well, that's good for you to vet your kids' girlfriends in the beginning. That way they learn how to. Because if you don't vet them for them, they're just going to go with whoever their lower body tells them to go with, you know?
Right.
But that's by you doing that, you're teaching him how to vet women when he gets older.
Maybe what his mom's trying to do.
Yeah.
She may have been doing this for 6 months from the very beginning.
Yeah. Yep,
So,
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah. We don't know we don't know exactly, but I think you gave him enough to run with from here, at least. So, okay. We got a special guest coming on today. We're not taking any phone calls today. I want to remind you to email us if you have questions, or if you want to talk on the phone. Please email us. thestraightshootershow@gmail.com. The straight with the STR8. Please email us. If you email us, you're most likely going to get your question answered, and you're most likely going to get on as a guest. So email us and come on. Don't be afraid to talk to the straight shooter. He's real gentle, I promise. It'll be great.
And another guarantee that we make at the Straight Shooter Show is, if you say something if you're talking to me on the phone and you say something, and then later on in the conversation you're like, man, I wish I hadn't said that, we will edit out what you said, so that if you're like, man, my mom's a bitch, oh man, I wish I hadn't said that, we will take that out for you. Our goal is not to put out a show that's going to embarrass you or something that you would regret. Now, if you call us, the day before it goes out and say, I changed my mind, it may be difficult to edit it out.
No, we still will.
We will.
The day before, after it's already out, that's where it would become challenging.
Once it's out,
yeah,
we're not taking it down.
If you message me 30 seconds before I put it out, I'll take it out.
Okay.
I'll guarantee everyone that. See, most podcasters don't. Once it's recorded, their show means everything to them, and that's not what this show's about. This show is about you guys, the fans. It's about helping you, and so the show is secondary to that. It's just something that we want you guys to see. So if we will edit out literally anything. And we almost always record on Saturdays, and it doesn't go out till Wednesday. So you have a few days to, process it. It's pre-recorded. It's not live. So anything you want, leave me enough to where I have a little bit, don't say edit out 38 minutes out of a, 39-minute phone call. Yeah. Let me have a phone call, but we'll edit out whatever. But anyway, we've got a very special guest in studio, or I'm sorry, it's not in studio. It's going to be in Zoom this time. Trey Lewis. He is country music artist living in Nashville. He has this song, Dick Down in Dallas, I guess you could say, on TikTok. It's a very viral song. I mean, you can't scroll through TikTok without hearing this song. And the Straight Shooter's going to have a conversation with him today. Without further ado, Trey Lewis.
Trey Lewis, man, I've been pumped up the last several days about having you on. I got all kinds of questions I want to ask you about. We're going to start off, of course, with Dick Down in Dallas. I mean, everybody wants to talk about that right now. It's the popping song. It's all over TikTok and everything. And I mean, I'm sure you got to be pumped up about it. All the attention.
Changed my life, man. It's been insane.
Yeah. So I read that it started out as Going Back to Dallas was the original title, and that your buddies that wrote the song, they knew you liked to add words to the song, so they changed it up for you. Is that true? Is that how it went?
That's not how it went down, but I don't know who wrote that story, but how it went down is I've been living in Nashville for about 2 years now, and I moved up here to get better at writing songs, and through that, I met people that were had the same kind of goals as I did, and one of my best friends, Matt McKinney, which was a writer of the song, we don't listen to the radio up here. We just send each other work tapes of songs we've written back and forth, and
right.
He sent me this song one day. It was called Dick Down in Dallas, and it was just a verse and a chorus. It wasn't even finished, and I was like, dude, that's hilarious, and then didn't really think nothing of it, just kept doing my thing. And then I'm a touring musician, so every weekend I would go on the road, usually Thursday through Sunday, and play 4 nights a week, 4 hours straight, no breaks, just playing covers and making a living. That way I could come up here and write songs during the week. And, the goal was to eventually get to a point to where I didn't have to play other people's music for a living,
Right,
and just chasing the dream, I guess. And anyways, I don't know. COVID hit, and then everything just shut down. And then, all of a sudden, all these contracts, all these gigs we had were not going to happen anymore. And, everybody's freaking out. But I have a little bit of nest egg, enough money to last me for a little while. And, we got the stimulus checks and all. And I got applied for a couple of grants and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, make a long story short, one day we were all hanging out, and my buddy Matt was like, hey man, we finished that Dick Down in Dallas song, and he sent it to me. And then all of a sudden we were just like, it was like a campfire thing, everybody just sat around the campfire and played Dick Down in Dallas. And then one day we were riding in the truck. I think we went to Chili's. I ate at Chili's or Outback at least 3 times a week. And we were in the car, and my roommate Mitch was like, dude, if this song was out on iTunes, I would buy it right now. And I told Matt, screwing around, I was just like, look, man, like, if nobody else will cut this song, like, I know, Matt grew up, his kid, his parents were like, missionaries or whatever they call them, like, so like, he wasn't going to cut the song.
Right.
And then, Brent, the other writer on the song, he was in a duo with his wife. So, I mean, he's not going to sing about dicks and butt fucks, And then the other writer, Drew Trosclair, he's just a guitar player. So I was just like, dude, like, I love you guys. You know what I mean? Like, and for me, it's almost like I believe in my friends as much as I believe in myself, because we're all here. We're all doing the same thing. We all have the same goal. And I was just like, if nobody else will cut this song, I will.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been putting out music since 2012 and nobody ever really listened to it. So like, what's it going to hurt me to put this song out,
Right.
And then, make a long story short, I got the chords and I got the song, and I just started like practicing it in my room, and I was able to start going out and start playing. We played at like the Floribama, just some like acoustic stuff. It wasn't like, like it was before. And I started playing on the road, and people started messaging me about it, asking me about it. And then what was like the big thing that happened is we all did this like round here in Nashville, like a songwriter round.
Mm-hmm.
For people who don't know what that is, it's like 4 songwriters get on stage and everybody takes turns playing songs. And at the end, I played Dick Down in Dallas and Raised Rowdy. They're like that's their social media handle on Instagram. They like share country music that's unreleased or people may have not have heard of or whatever, and they make memes. But my buddy Nick runs that, and he took a video of it and put it on their Facebook page. And then from there, my guy that does my content, Trey Bonner, got it put on Call Our Daddy's Facebook group. And then from there, Matt McKinney got it put on Old Row. And then when it hit Old Row, that's when it just started blowing up.
Right.
And then we started toying with the idea of recording it. We didn't know if we wanted to go like acoustic version, you know, kind of like we did in the video, or just do like full out, straight up, sound like the radio, you know, type song.
Right.
And I talked to Alex Maxwell, which he's my producer, and we were talking about, you know, how we were going to do it. And then I was like, well, man, let's just sleep on it. We'll talk about it tomorrow, you know. And that night I was laying in bed, and Grady Saxman called me, which he has Saxman Studios, and he's played on everything I've done since 2012, and he's played on a lot of big records that are on the radio. He sent me a text, and all it said was "Dick Down in Dallas," and I was like, "This is that God moment." I was like, "Man, let's track this song." And he was like, "I would love that." So me, him, and Alex we went over to his studio, and we had a guy come in and play all the. His name's Saul. He came in and played all the guitars, the bass, the acoustic, and then Grady played drums. And sorry, my dog just came in here.
That's all right.
Played drums, and then we just got it recorded and got it mixed and mastered. But while we were at the studio, my guy came in and filmed some videos of me like recording the song, and those are the videos that went quote unquote viral on TikTok, you know.
Right.
And then that's how everything started happening. And it's just been crazy ever since, man.
Well, like you said, you've been putting out music all this time, and you know, I'd never heard of you before either. But first, I got to tell you, when I heard that song, the very first time I heard it, I thought, who hasn't felt that way after a breakup? I mean, whether it's true or not.
Exactly.
You know, you're thinking, you know, she's running the team. You know, she is. Yeah. That's what she's doing. Yeah. And you're like, God, it's killing me. And I want her to bring that sweet ass back, you know?
Yeah.
But she's doing, more likely she's eating ice cream in bed, you know, crying to her friends, but not in our minds. She's doing it. Yeah. But,
she's doing it.
With my platform, what I do, you know, with relationship stuff and my history, I've been married 3 times. I mean, I've got a long laundry list of women in my life too.
Yeah.
I know the heartbreak and the, you know, all the stuff that goes along with that. So it hit me. I mean, and I heard somebody that you interviewed, you asked you if it was an angry song. And I thought, God, no, it's not an angry song. It's a hilarious song is what it is, but it means something, you know, that everybody can identify with the emotion that you're going through after that breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought it was so great.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
But now that I've heard it and found out who you were and was able to go, you know, search some of your music, you do put out some damn good music, man. And
well, man, I appreciate it.
I do believe that, you know, everybody has to get noticed somehow. I mean, you got to have something that sets you apart from everybody else so people can find out who you are. And then maybe stuff you did 5 years ago, you know, will come to the forefront because now people have seen you, you know. And I mean, I see nothing but, you know, huge success in your future based on what I've heard out of you so far. I wanted to ask you about, I know that or at least what I've read, I've tried to read up on you the last week to get ready. I read that you got sober several years ago. Is that right? Is that true?
Yeah, I actually got sober when I was 19 years old. I started drinking and doing drugs when I was like 13.
Right.
And I got real bad off in just a few short years. I just woke up one day after bouncing in and out of jails and, like psych wards and shit. And I was just like, this ain't no way to live. I'm ready. I wasn't welcome at home. I was sleeping on people's couches or, basically homeless. And I was just like, man, whatever I got to do to like get clean, I'm willing to do it. And I went to treatment in Birmingham, or right north of Birmingham. I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. And it's a place called Bradford. And I went there for 2 weeks. And then from there, I went to a sober living in Bessemer, Alabama, what they call it, halfway house. And I was there for 6 months. And then when I was 9 months sober, I made amends to my dad. And I hadn't lived with my dad since I was 2 years old. And he asked me to move in with him, and I lived with him for about 9 months. And I've been sober ever since, man. June 11th, 2007. And when I was living with my dad, I was working at a smoothie shop. That was my first job, and I decided that it'd be a good idea. You know, they say idle hands is the devil's workshop. So I was like, what if I just bought a guitar? That would give me something to do. And bought myself a guitar, taught myself how to play it. And before I knew it, I was making up songs because I couldn't learn it, because some of the harder chords were hard to learn early on, you know.
Right.
But I'll never forget it, man. I know Dick Down in Dallas is a funny song, and it's a heartbreak song, but it's like, you know, and everybody's got to do something to have their breakout moment, you know, like
Right.
you were saying earlier. But like all the shit I've been through in the last, 13 and a half years has been totally worth it to get to this point.
Right.
Like I remember one day, man, I was driving in the van. I drive a big white van. That's my
Right.
tour bus.
I've seen it.
And I know it might sound weird for people to, that are singing about dicks and butt fucks to talk about God, in the same sentence, but that's just how I am, And one day I was riding in my van, and I was just, I pray every morning. I either hit my knees, or if I forget, I'll ride in the van, just talk to God like I'm talking to a friend.
Yeah.
And one day I told God, I said, man, if this is all that ever happens, if all I can do is, write songs with my friends during the week and play somebody else's song 4 nights a week, then like, I'm okay with that. But wouldn't it be cool to have a little bit more success,
Right.
And,
Of course.
So there's been a lot of cool things that have happened since all this went down. Like, being in Rolling Stone magazine, and, having record labels reach out to you, and having meetings and doing interviews and all that stuff is really cool. But the coolest thing for me, man, was the night the song came out, and I was here in this house with like all my friends that, that wrote the song, people that produced it, and just my friends that have, been here since day one, just like riding that emotional roller coaster of like watching the song come out and then watching it go number one. There's really nothing that can top that for me. It was just an awesome experience.
Yeah. Well, I think
unless it happens again or something, you know what I mean?
I think the future that you've probably got, you'll top it. You're going to have even bigger moments. You're going to be like, man, I didn't think I could top that, but I think you will. Man, it's super impressive that at 19 years old that you were able to make that, to come to that realization and make that commitment. And I mean, I'm super impressed with that.
Yeah.
A lot of 19-year-olds can't, make that kind of change in their life. So being in the environment, being at all the clubs and everything has never been an issue for you. You've been able to.
No, it's not really an issue, man. I feel like a certain number of things have happened throughout my sobriety to like reassure me that I'm doing the right thing. You know, it's like, I got sober at a young age, but it's like, I had like 5 close friends that I grew up with, and like 2 of them are like dead because of, drugs and alcohol.
Right.
One of them's been in and out of prison, and the other one's just completely normal, and he's still my best friend. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's just like, there's all kinds of little things that have happened. It's like, if I would have never got sober, I probably would have never taught myself how to play guitar,
Yeah.
So it's like, I've never played music high or drunk. So like, music is kind of like my drug, you know, in a sense. So it's like, I don't want to do anything to interfere with that. And since I put the booze and the drugs down, like my life has gotten so much better. So it's like, why even deal with that? You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, and I'm thoroughly convinced that like, there's no, like, alcohol and drugs do something different to me than they do to like your average person or a different person. It does something completely different. It affects me mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, in a way that nothing else does,
Right.
But you got to be careful. Sometimes when you get sober, you get all those other addictions, like women. For me,
right. Speaking of women, you've been married one time, right?
I've been married once. I got married when I was 22, which was, terrible idea.
Right.
And so I'm 33 now, and I got divorced about 4 years ago.
Did y'all have any kids together?
we have no kids. I had a stepson
Yeah.
who I was, I helped raise, and that was pretty tough.
Yes. I've been there
because
too.
now I don't hear from him or see him anymore. But now that like yesterday being Christmas, all your Facebook memories come up, and it's just like, damn,
It
you know
is
what I mean?
tough. Yeah.
I mean,
do
it
know.
all worked out, but like that's the thing is just like that's the thing that bothers you the most. It's like,
So I want to
I
ask.
don't know, man. Kids are resilient, I know, but like something about. I mean, I remember just like one day I took him fishing, and I just remember one day just looking at him and be like, I just don't think there's any way I could love anything any more than I love this kid. You know what I mean? And he wasn't even mine, so like. I don't know. That was probably the toughest part, and that's probably the thing that probably deep down, still bothers me sometimes.
Right.
But you just gotta. That's life,
I married my first wife primarily because she had a 3-year-old daughter and that didn't have a dad. I mean, I've talked about it on another podcast. I cared for my wife. We had fun together, but her daughter was the driving force, really.
Yeah.
And. She's 30 years old now, and we'll text every once in a while, but it's not the relationship a father and daughter should have. So I hear what you're saying. It's tough. My Way. Did you write that song, My Way?
I wrote that song with Nick Haynes and Joy Beth Taylor.
And does that have anything to do with getting sober, or
I just think it has to do with just life in general, like. I wrote that song probably 8 months ago, like, or maybe a little bit longer than that. I'd have to look, but it's a very, fairly new song. So, I think that, regardless that, I have been sober, I mean, you still get lost. I mean, I went through from at 26, my dad passed away. He had a massive heart attack.
Sorry.
And then right after that, my grandmother passed away. And, so in my sobriety, I went through a kind of like a dark time, and then I went through my divorce. It was just like all these catastrophic life events just happened. Boom, 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 back to back.
Right.
And like, I dealt with them as best as I could in the moment. But sometimes I think, whether you're dealing with grief or whatever you're dealing with, it takes a while to like really process that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just deal with it right then. It's going to come hit you later on down the road.
Right.
So I think that song was just kind of like, as far as that goes, just like a later on in life thing, like all the stuff you go through in life, like sometimes you got to get lost to find your way.
Well, the first time I heard it, I felt like I identified with it as through all my divorces and all my heartbreak and all the bullshit that I've been through in my life. That's how I identified with it. And it wasn't until I read, about you getting sober and I heard it again. I wondered if that had anything to do with it for you. But I mean, I think, like you said, so many various things in our lives that brought us to where we're at now. Anybody should be able to identify with that song for what they've dealt with in their lives. So.
And that's the thing that I love about songwriting, and music just in general, is that a song can mean different things to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, and same thing with Dick Down in Dallas. Like, some people look at it and say, oh, well, he's bringing women down or whatever, and other people are like, no, it's this, or no, it's that for me. Yeah. And I just think that song's really cool because I went turkey hunting for the first time this year, and I was with a buddy, and we were just sitting in this like muddy ground. It was cold. It was kind of cold. It was early in the morning, and there was just some like a natural spring running through the thing. And I was like, I didn't have my phone on me. I was like, dude, let me see your phone. And I just jotted down the first little lines. And then when I came back to Nashville, I was like, I got this idea, Yeah. And that's the coolest thing about songwriting is that, it can mean anything to. So, I mean, I guess like, part of it's about my sobriety, but, for me, my life's always been about like, you do this, you go through this, and then you're like, oh, well, that's not right. You're constantly I've been constantly like reevaluating myself and reinventing myself to, to like continue to grow and continue to, move forward in life. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And that's awesome. I mean, a lot of people don't do that, they just, they hit a certain point in their life and then they go the rest of their life. That's where they're at
I just couldn't do that. You know, I mean, that's like, that's why I totally believe that, I went to 12-step fellowships forever. I've always, that's how I got sober, is going to the 12-step fellowships. And part of that process is, taking that inventory and like looking inwardly. And I believe wholeheartedly that that's set me up for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, so like, I'm constantly looking at myself because the thing is like, it ain't about being sober, but it's about being happy. You know what I mean? I don't want to be dry and miserable. I want to bring joy to other people's lives. And for me to be able to do that, then I got to continue to look at my stuff and keep my side of the street clean. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But, let's talk about Believer. You wrote that, right?
I did write that. I wrote that with Alex Schofield, man. He's a good friend of mine. He's from Michigan. We met through this lady, Tracy Moore. And I wrote that song right when I first moved to Nashville. I really didn't have many friends, but I knew this lady, Tracy, and she knew other songwriters. And she grouped us together. We met in this office. We'd never met. And we just kind of sat there and talked. And he moved to town right around the same time I did. But when he first moved here, he lived in his van for a little while. So we just kind of talked about all the crazy stuff that we've done to like chase our dreams,
Yeah.
And I actually woke up that morning out of my bed and I was like, I got to come up with a song idea. I don't have one. And I sat there and I wrote like just the body of the song. I really didn't know where it was going, but it was like, I'm a believer. Let me make one out of you. And I showed up and I had I played for tips to empty rooms. And then we left that day after we wrote the song. We didn't see it like that it was a good song. We scheduled another write to maybe see if we could make it any better or make it make more sense. And then right around that time, like I kind of got in this like self-doubt thing where I was like, man, do I even want to be a country artist anymore? Do I just want to be a songwriter and just live here in Nashville? And then quarantine hit. And then, I started hanging out with the people that I write with more often. And we would have campfires. And they were like, Trey, we want to hear you play a song. You never play. And I played Believer. And ended up that night, I ended up playing it like 5 or 6 more times. They loved it. So,
well, man.
And then I was like, okay, well, fuck, maybe I can do some shit,
Well, I'm gonna tell you 2 things after what you just said. First of all, that line, "Dreams don't work unless you do." The first time I heard that, chills went over my whole body, and I was like, "That's right, man! What a line!" I loved the whole song, but that line just really sent me over the edge. And don't ever doubt yourself again, because you have the presence and you have the voice and obviously the writing ability. You're going to be a huge country star. So don't ever doubt yourself about that.
I appreciate it, man. I just feel like sometimes, like you're just throwing shit at the wall. You don't, you know what I mean? It's like, I really like to do this. I really want to do this. If I'm just going to suck at it until I'm good at it.
Yeah. Hey. I was just telling my producer when I got here, like you, I put out almost 1,000 videos on TikTok this year. That's a lot of videos, man.
That is.
And on top of trying to counsel people through my DMs and starting a podcast and starting a merch line. And, I'm always busy trying to do something. And I posted a video this morning, 5 hours before I got here, that based on the analytics, it should have already been viral. It was right from the get-go, but it only had 1,000 likes on it. They only showed it to 5,000 people. And I'm like, I'm not killing myself, but I'm putting out content. I am putting this stuff out, and it's not going anywhere. But then every once in a while, I'll get a 3 million view video, and then it's like golfing, Yeah. You get that one good drive at the end of the 18 holes, and that brings you back. You get that one up, even if after you have a whole bunch of disappointment, it just takes that one up to keep you going.
For sure. For sure.
But anyways, I didn't bring you on here to talk about myself.
That's all good, man.
Hey, I do have some more questions for you. I just want to ask you a few relationship questions, get your opinions on them.
Yeah.
What's your stance on if you're with somebody and she comes to you, she wants a break? Where are you at on that?
I'm out.
You're out. That's it.
I'm
Done.
I'm out.
Enjoy your break.
I was hanging out with this girl the other night, and I don't know. She said something. We were like gonna hook up or something. I don't know. I don't know what was gonna happen, but she was like, I mean, you're cute and all, and you got some good songs. And she said, but you're not really my type. I was like, well, you can leave then. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, why the fuck are you even here?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, get out.
Maybe if you had 3 more big songs, maybe I wouldn't even be saying this to you.
But that's
kind of a
the kind
shitty
shit,
thing
man.
to say.
People are like that, and that like bothers me because I'm not like that. I'm just a normal guy. You know what I mean?
Right. I can tell that about you, that you are.
It's kind of weird. Like as soon as you like get some followers on your stuff and like all this stuff, people are actually meaner. You know what I mean?
Some people are.
So,
absolutely.
But yeah, it was crazy.
Well, I think I already know the answer to the next question. I mean, if you're out on a break, then a girl cheats on you, there's no second chances. Yes or no?
No. I mean, no. I mean, you cheat, you're done. But if you're on a break, then like if we're on break,
yeah, if you're on a break, it's fair game.
If we're on break, I'm probably gonna go have some fun too.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be on a break.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why you don't do breaks, because they're out getting railed or getting down in Dallas or whatever.
Yeah, whatever,
Marriage, you see marriage in your future?
I'm not ruling it out, but I just I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not ruling it out, but it's got to be the right situation.
Yeah.
I've done some dating, since my divorce, and I was in one relationship for like a year, and it was going pretty good, and then that ended. So, and I dated somebody recently, and then that ended as well. I'm from my side, so both times. But I don't know, man. We'll just have to see. I mean, I don't know. I would like to, but it's got to be somebody that's on my same wavelength and gets that will understand that I play music for a living and really get it, right, and not just tolerate. I feel like a lot of people just tolerate it, and then they can't handle it. So, I guess my biggest problem with a relationship or even in a marriage, being a musician and doing what I do for a living, is that there's a part of me that feels like selfish for asking them to even go down this journey, because I'm never home on the weekends. You know what I mean? Like, right. I can't give you a normal life. Right. So it's just,
well, you want somebody that's going to be your biggest fan, but that you can be their biggest fan too.
Yeah.
And I think everybody would want that. I mean, I want that. I want a woman that is my biggest fan, but I'm going to praise her too for whatever it is she's doing.
Yeah. Just general respect, like I respect you, you respect me. Like, that's a big thing.
Yeah. It's huge. All right. The last question I'm going to ask you, because it's the toughest question I ever get. How do you get over heartbreak? The day it happens. I mean, the first week, how do you get over a broken heart? It's hard.
I know the wrong way to do it.
Yeah, me too.
When I went through my divorce, man, I ran completely into women and just, caused a bunch of wreckage of the present, and did things that I'm not proud of. And, I just think the best advice I can give is just, it's hard, it's like an addiction. Yep. It really is. I mean, in the brain, it's, they said sometimes the withdrawal part of it is close to like heroin addiction.
Yeah.
So, I remember when I've gone through heartbreaks, my favorite thing to do to like relieve stress or like get my mind right is to go fishing. And I couldn't even do that, you know?
Yeah. I do know.
But the best thing I've ever had learned how to do is learn how to be alone.
Yes.
You know, and get comfortable with that again, you know?
Yes. That's what I
and
always
that's
tell
still
people.
something that I struggle with on, you know, low key, but that's learning how to be alone again. And the biggest thing is like, I used to hate when people would say nothing happens by mistake, you know?
Yeah.
But I really think that is, you know, and it's like, if you're the one that got broken up with and, you know, they didn't like a certain something about you, then that ain't the person for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, I think you have to just go through all the 5 stages of grief and just like, you know, you just have to go through it. It's not fun, but
Nope. Try to stay busy, and time is, I mean, just takes, just like if you're coming off heroin, it's going to take time before those withdrawals go away.
Yeah. What is your answer?
Time and stay busy and try to, and I always tell people, like you said, you know, getting comfortable with being by yourself. I mean, I preach that from the mountaintops, that you've got to be happy with yourself, by yourself, being by yourself. And then if you can find somebody else that's also happy with their life, and those two lives can, you know, merge, and you're both still happy, you know, and you complement each other's lives, then if one of you leaves, you're not stuck with nothing. You didn't depend on that person for your happiness. And I'm not saying this because this is what I've done. I'm telling you this because this is what I've learned. Because I've been the guy that, you know, she made me happy, but when she was gone, now where am I? Because I've lost my happiness. But that's what I tell people.
I think it's all about finding balance, and there's a healthy balance to everything. And I think a lot of times people will do this, because I've done it too. It's just like, okay, you get your heart broke, you know, you get to a point to where you're okay, but you're not absolutely in love with yourself, and you meet somebody that's just okay too, and they've got problems too, and then you know, you just kind of settle in that relationship, and then you're not really happy. I think really, you know, it's like, you know, I know for me, being 33 years old, it's like I'm at a point now to where like I ain't settling for no kind of bullshit. I ain't putting up with no bullshit. You know, like I'll just end it right like that girl the other night.
Right.
You know, that's cool. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like I'm at a point to where like I'm so solid as a person, you know, on my own, and like if I can find somebody like that's cool. But if not, then like I'm just gonna keep rolling solo. You know?
Yeah. I'm
right
there with you.
I'm not just going to be with somebody just because I want to be with somebody. You know what I mean? It's got to be somebody that's worth the, you know, worth the squeeze.
Yeah. It's got a mutual energy, mutual effort, mutual. Yeah. It's got to be, like you said, balance. It's got to be balanced. And I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
Anyways, I could keep you on here for another hour or so talking to you.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to let you go eat, Trey. I appreciate you getting with me today.
Dude,
I love
appreciate
your
it,
music.
It's fun. This is the kind of stuff I like to do. Like we talk about a little bit of music, but we talk about the real shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
The stuff that people think about when they're trying to go to sleep at night and can't. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm going to tell you, before I let you go, I don't know, it's been like 3 months ago, somebody made that comment on one of my videos and said, Jason, you got to do something with the dick down in Dallas. And I mean, I keep a pretty PG TikTok because I just do. And I was like, I don't know, man. I mean, I love him. I love his music. I follow him. And then you followed me back. And that's for me. I mean, I got a lot more followers than you do. But to me, that was like, holy shit, Trey Lewis just followed me back. I mean, I was so pumped up that you followed me back.
Awesome,
and when you responded to my request for the interview, within 3 hours, I think.
Dude, I try to stay on my internet and like just like respond to everybody, because I'm so grateful for any kind of fan I can have. So like, you know, but it's so hard, dude. Like there's so much stuff.
I know
on the internet.
Dude, I'm at least a month behind on helping people in my DMs, because I get questions. I mean, I get 10, 15 a day probably. And I try to help people as quick as I can, but I don't want to help 100 people at once. with their individual issues because
Yeah.
I can't keep up with everybody's story, but I get it, man. And so that's another reason. I mean, I appreciate you getting back to me as quick as you did.
Yeah, dude.
And appreciate you making time for me today.
I actually watch your stuff, so I really enjoy it.
Well, I appreciate that.
I really like Caleb Francis too. You ever watch his stuff?
He's hilarious.
Dude, he's so funny. He's like the whole reason I got on TikTok. He's hilarious.
Oh, I love his. Is Caleb Francis the guy that does the where he makes it into heaven, and then he talks to God and is like, hey, why did you create sneezing or whatever? Oh my God, I cry when I watch that stuff, man.
Yeah.
I'd like to interview him sometime. He'd be great to interview.
Yeah.
All right, man. Hey, go get your dinner, man. I thank you, and I'm not gonna blow you up. I am gonna send you something when we get done with all of this thing here.
Cool.
And then, like I said, anything you want as a graphic on the YouTube part of it, or we'll put it in our description for our online or our audio only. Anything you send me, I'll get it out there for whoever watches or tunes in or whatever. So, and I'll look forward to you coming through Oklahoma City too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we're working on it. We'll see you soon, man. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
There he was, Trey Lewis. What'd you think about that, man?
Man, I enjoyed that conversation. Yeah, I could tell he was a cool guy. His first time, I mean, we've texted before, but that's the first time that we've actually talked. And I could tell he was just a down-to-earth kind of guy. And, man, his music, I don't know how much of his music you've listened to yet, but I've listened to quite a bit of it. And the dude's got a voice, and he's got some really gut-wrenching, heart, give you chills kind of music.
Yeah.
So,
you kind of figure out what kind of guy he is whenever he talks about his stepson. I could tell the pain in that, and how I think if you can love another person's son as much as I could tell he did, kind of tells you what kind of person he is. And then also, I would challenge you to name another person that got sober at 19 and stayed there.
Yeah, especially in that lifestyle of, he's been in Nashville for 2 years playing, which he was already doing stuff before that.
Yeah.
Playing various places where alcohol is going to be around. Yeah, you got to have some willpower, but I understand what he's saying too about he's choosing happiness over unhappiness, and he knows he's happy. So why he remembers that things were not great when he was drinking or using drugs or whatever. But you're right. I mean, 19-year-old to come to that conclusion.
So rare.
Yeah.
One thing that rang through to me that he said, because January 4th, I told you this earlier, but January 4th is 2 years sober for me, is that he said that there's a lot of things that has happened throughout that time that he's been sober that remind him why he is. And that rings true for me too, because I'm in this dad's group on Facebook, and this guy posted a video of him pouring whiskey into a glass, and I wrote in the group, I was like, damn, I miss drinking. They're like, well, why don't you just drink then? I was like, I can't. And everybody's like, why? I mean, I'm not going to go into it here why I don't now, but like I was going through the Walmart aisle today and saw whiskey, and I was like, or alcohol, I don't know if it was whiskey or not, but I saw a bunch of alcohol.
Whiskey.
Well, I saw a bunch of alcohol there, was basically what I'm saying. And I saw it, and I looked at Angela. I said, you want to get drunk? Because she quit the day I quit, and she hasn't drank again either. And she said, yes, but no. And I still want to drink, but I just don't. And it's just crazy. It's cool to see a 19-year-old like that get sober and move on like that. Strength, resilient. That guy's awesome. I was so glued listening to that interview.
Yeah. I mean, and like I was saying, and he knows, I mean, everybody, you got to have that one thing that, is different, sets you apart, like his Dick Down in Dallas song, I mean, it brought him some notoriety. It's going to bring him new fans. And the more fans that he gets, for that song, they're going to find his other music. And, word of mouth is he's going to be successful. I just have no doubt.
I wonder if his friends, because he said that
he's not already successful, but
no,
wildly successful.
I was thinking about this. I was going to have you ask him, but like if that's been downloaded so many times on Spotify and Apple, and he's been charging for it, he's probably made a ton of money off that one song.
He probably has.
Probably made a ton of money because I know it's blown up on TikTok, but a lot of people's probably went and downloaded the full version on Apple, and you get paid for that stuff. And then he's probably got it up on iTunes. He's probably charging $1 or something per song, if not less or more. I don't know. Yeah. But shit, can you imagine if 10,000 people or 100,000 people? You know, that guy's probably made a lot of money off that one song.
Right.
You know, but I was curious too. So he said that his friends and him wrote the song,
right? But
his other friends couldn't cut the song because they come from like a really religious family and they couldn't cut it and record it. Yeah. I wonder if that guy's parents know if he was a writer on the song though, because surely his name's on the credits, right? You know?
Well, and it's said in interviews, and I already knew. I got my notes down there, and I had his name. I mean, but surely they know. I don't know. I mean. But I get it because there's things I don't want to do or say because I know my parents listen to everything that I do.
I know.
They listen to the podcast and they listen to all my TikToks and they read every single comment. And I mean, they will call me and say, "Did you see that comment by such and such?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't see it." They're like, "Well, you need to go check this comment." I mean, they're on top of it. So
yeah, I've been seeing your parents.
Careful about what I say.
Yeah, I've been seeing your video with your parents lately, and they seem really sweet.
I'm almost 50, and I'm being very careful what my parents. Yeah, I say.
I seen your dad rolling around in a Freight Hauler straight shooter shirt the other day. That's pretty cool. Man, that's awesome.
Love my parents. They're great.
Yeah, people. They seem really sweet people. I probably wouldn't want to disappoint them either. So now I've got to watch what I say because what if they chew me out?
They will. They'll let you know.
You'll give them my number, won't you? You better not. I'm supposed to be the bad one on the show. So, all right, that was Trey Lewis, man.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun on that one. So,
all right. Well, I don't know how you could disagree with anything I said on this show. Maybe you did. Don't forget to give me your feedback on the OnlyFans idea. See what your thoughts are. Maybe you all hate the idea. We'll see. But whatever I say, even if you don't agree with me, I'm always going to shoot you straight.